Hey everyone, this Memorial Day, it's fitting to talk about an all-time classic, and that would be the Memorial EP by Moss Icon. I think this came out in 1991. Moss Icon being, one of the seminal pioneering bands of what would come to be referred to as, the dreaded, that E word, emo. But like all pioneering bands, they didn't set out to be that way. They were just combining a range of influences and approaching, punk and hardcore from a different angle. Not unlike a completely different band, but in the same sort of thing, like Starkweather, who I've referred to quite regularly as sort of the Velvet Underground of metalcore. Starkweather didn't set out to make metalcore. They just did something new and original, and it was so captivating and innovative that every person who saw Starkweather or bought a Starkweather record started a band, not unlike what happened with, the Velvet Underground. And I think the same can be said of Moss Icon. They didn't maybe make a huge splash at the time. They sort of existed in the world. I've seen like posts online where people are saying, yeah, you see, Moss Icon in 1989 and the kids wearing Gorilla Biscuits shirts kind of standing there looking puzzled, right? But they made their mark. And they're just a great band. And I think Memorial, which the lyric sheet, back in the file sharing days, if you were going to download Moss Icon, you might download a song called Memorial, you might download a song called Memory, and they're the same. And, these bands didn't make it easy, because if you look at the, lyric sheet, Memory, but then you look at the label of the record, Memorial. And got to keep things interesting. But, I think Memorial, maybe the greatest anti-war song that most people will never hear. And I think that song, this record, and this band is a reminder, as I've said it, recently, the political roots of this music. And Moss Icon being a band that, had songs about a lot of different things. They have the song Gravity that refers to a dock made of ancient oak wooden planks that rock and creak. And they have a song about a moth. But they also have songs about American intervention in Latin America. They have a song, Put Rocks in the Gas Tank to Fuck Up the Bulldozer. They have songs and records dedicated to the experience of Native Americans in this country. And so just a reminder that, even the bands that would be kind of, retrospectively referred to as, emo or whatever, coming from that, that tradition of, this is protest music. And I don't think there's a better example of a song in this style, in this scene, than Memorial, which, the song is, references, the Vietnam Memorial, but it's just this great statement against war. And the music itself is just, let's say, sublime. But, you listen to this song, and in the middle of the song, he says, walk out of your Oval Office, walk out of the State House, and take a short walk across the lawn and descend to 6 feet under and read those names. And you're still debating whether to send me here, right? It's just a great song about the reality of war and of power and governments, which is, the many are at the mercy of the few. And I don't try to have these, videos I do necessarily be tied to a theme, but I would be mistaken not to share this band generally and this record specifically as, we think about just everything that's kind of happening in the world today and our role in it. So, all right, take it easy.